In this particular video, I'm going to be sharing with you why you need to start relying a little bit less on the GPS and how specifically this practice or this routine can help you actually become more self-reliant and stronger when it comes to your ability to have a vision and actually turn it into a tangible reality. This is something you don't want to miss, all right? Dimitri here. Let's get right into it. Yesterday I was talking about the example of the cab drivers in London City, how they have to actually go through a test, and the test is basically they have to actually go from one particular address or one particular end of the city to the next without relying on the maps, without relying on GPS. And once they do make it to the next point, they pass. And those who actually fail to bring the tester from one particular end of the city to the next without relying on GPS or map, eventually they fail and they are unable to receive the permit or the license to work out to operate as a cab driver in London City. This was the example that I used yesterday, but today I'm going to use a personal anecdote. And of course, this is not scientific evidence, so I'm not suggesting that this is definitely evidence-based, that yes, you must absolutely stop relying on GPS, so using more your brain, grow stronger when it comes to your ability to develop, to go from one end to the next and to manifest your vision and turn it into tangible reality. This is not, I'm just using my own personal example. It may be funny, but yeah, just bear with me. About, oh my goodness, almost 2 years now. About a year ago, I found myself traveling to the heart of Africa, to the city known as Kinshasa and the country known as the Democratic Republic of Congo. When I got there, of course, I was completely shocked by the fact that the population had grown exponentially, and the city I once knew as a child was completely now different, in the sense that what used to be familiar looks now completely different, because the sheer number of people in the city transformed the landscape and turned it into almost a totally foreign country for me, city for me. So I was there. I stayed for a couple of days with my brother and my mom. So she's my aunt, but I call her mom. Mom says to me, yeah, you've been seeing your brother for a couple of days, but now it's time for you to actually come live with me, spend at least 4 days with me before you go back to Canada. I said, okay, sure, whatever you want, I'm going to do it. So my brother then took me from wherever we were staying together all the way to my auntie's place, to my mom's place. So as we got to my mom's place, of course, I was trying to memorize. How we're actually going from one place to another. I'm trying to actually know exactly, have a sense of a direction, just in case anything happens, because that's just how my mind works. We got there. I realized that, yeah, I've never been to the place, because this is a place that she actually just built recently, and when she built it, I was still away. So I got to the place and we greeted, and she said, okay, so she get me one of the butlers or workers to actually show me to my quarters, my living quarters, and I saw the place. It was completely magnificent, but I didn't have time to actually stay there to actually enjoy the place. I had to go back up because we had things to do. So I leave my stuff over there and we go somewhere else, and we go to a place that was supposed to be gathering, because I was there for my biological mom funeral. So after I went to the funeral, one of my friends, who also used to live in Europe, lived there for quite a long time, he came also to spend some time with me. And as we spent time together, at one point he said to me, but you know what, Dimitri, it's time for us to go, because it's almost 11 o'clock, and in this country there's a curfew, so we have to, it's time for us to actually go. So I'm going to give you a ride to wherever you're staying. I said, sure, I'm going to just ask my brother to let me know I'm going. So I told my brother, simply say, now I'm going, and he said, do you know the address? Do you know how to get it? I said, yeah, of course, yeah, because I remember we actually came from the south. So as long as we go from the south, from the eastern southern part of the city, or the right, I'll be able to actually find myself around the place all the way to my mom's place. So he said, okay, that's fine. If you know the address, if you know how to get that, that's fine. But if you get stuck, please call me. So as we started driving from where we were, going to my mom's place, at one point, my friend, instead of actually going the route that I knew, which is basically to drive south and then go back up, because he said he lives in the city. He says, no, we're just going to take a shortcut, and the shortcut is basically, instead of going south, he decided to actually go to this place from the northern part. And as he started driving to the northern part, I simply says, my brother, you know what, now you got me, because I have absolutely no clue how to get to this place. He said, what do you mean? Yeah, because I know how to get to there from the south, but now you're going from the north. How am I supposed to know? The city look completely different now. So I said, but my brother, you have a GPS in your car. Your car is fairly brand new, and this is new technology. Why don't you simply put the address in the GPS so you can tell exactly where to go? I said, he asked me, what is the address? I said, I don't know. Let me just call my brother. We call my brother. Of course, they don't know the address because they go by memory. They know exactly where mom lives, so they know how to go from where they are to mom's place. So they say, we don't know the address, but it's basically around this particular neighborhood. So my friend, he never lost his composure, but said, yeah, I found it. I said, but he says, what do you remember about the place? I says, I remember it's around this particular tower, and that's all I remember. It's okay. Let's just try to look around to see where this particular tower you're talking about. It is a funny thing. It's almost 11 o'clock, and all the streets are completely empty because people, of course, they have to stay home because there's a curfew. So as we're driving around, at one point he says, let me go to a friend of mine to ask him directions. As we stop there, the friend says, I know the person you actually, because I have to go to my mom's place, and her husband is a prominent public servant, has been working for the country for almost 50 years now. The gentleman says, I know of the gentleman, I know of your dad, but unfortunately I don't know how to get there because I don't know where he lives. So we get back on the street and start driving around. So we drove around for about 10-20 minutes. So as we're driving, I simply say, oh my goodness, what exactly have I gotten myself into? Because in North America where I live, this thing will be simply madness. Because if you don't have the address, you don't move. You don't move until you find exactly what the address is. And number two, until you are confident that you're going to get there safely instead of just driving around to actually what we qualify in North America as wasting gas. But my friend was completely determined. He said, don't worry about it, we're gonna find it. And guess what? 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes later, we found the place. And as we drove to the gate of the place, he simply looked at me, simply says, you see, I told you. Beaming confidence, the look of supreme confidence in his face, he simply says, yes, we may not rely on GPS in this country, but at least one thing we do very well is we use our brain, and we are basically hardworking. We never give up. As soon as we know exactly where we're going to find a way to get there as one way or the other. And as he dropped me off, I simply got out of the car and I simply looked around. I look at the SUV and simply says, wow, what a tremendous lesson when it comes to not giving up, being resilient when it comes to what your vision is as far as where you go is concerned. But of course, as I was saying at the very beginning, this is just a own personal experience, and this is nothing to do with science. This is nothing to do with research to actually determine or to actually demonstrate the fact that those who actually use the brain to go from one end of the city to the next are actually more brilliant or more resilient than the rest of us. That is not true. I know that yesterday I talked about the cab drivers in London City, how they basically have to actually train themselves to memorize every street of London City so they can actually know how to navigate from one place to another. But what we have to keep in mind is that these cab drivers, they are not university professors, they are not the CEO of a major companies, they are just cab drivers. So we can't exactly say it. Once you start finding a way to memorize the city map, you're going to actually become better than the rest of the people. Having said that, there's one key thing I would like to mention, is the fact that our brain is capable of doing many things, and the only reason why the brain does not give us what some of the things that they're actually able to do is because we don't place demands on the brain. That's just the only one thing I'm going to share with you, and that's the one key thing I learned from Kinshasa. Until and unless you get to a place where you start placing demands, tremendous demand on your brain will never give you such a result. So if you want to know how to basically amaze yourself and wow yourself, you have to place in front of your brain a tremendous demand and simply says, this is exactly now where we have to go. Now give me the route as to how I'm going to go from where I am to all the way where I want to go, and see how your brain is going to slowly but surely start giving you hints, start giving you routes, start giving you a connection between dots, until eventually you find yourself at a place where you never thought you could actually reach, simply because you never asked the brain to actually give you anything. Alright, I'm gonna stop here right now. Before I go, 4 key things I'm gonna kindly ask you to do. Number 1, please make sure you like this video. Number 2, please make sure you comment in the comment section. Number 3, please make sure you share this video with as many people as possible. Last but not least, please make sure you subscribe if you have not. already done so. Alright? Love you so much. The best is yet to come. But as I keep saying, enough for the best to be manifested to all of us, we have to find ourselves in a place where we are intentional. Alright? Intentional about putting demands on your brain and telling your brain, your subconscious, this is exactly what I want to do. This is exactly where I want to go, and see how the brain is going to simply put you in a place where you're going to wow yourself and wow the people in the community. Alright? Love you so much. I'm out.
Love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything.